Hey everybody, I'm Philip, and today I have some news. This is an update of sorts, the next update, the newest update. I haven't done one of these in a minute because I've been busy doing other stuff. The other stuff being, I don't know which way to put this. Boom. This right here is what I've been working on for about a year and a half behind the scenes right here. This is every single video that I had to manually touch and redo, aside from the ones that are highlighted. The highlighted ones, if you can even see the highlights, you can see the highlights a little bit there. The highlights are like snippets and whatnot, and those don't need retouched because there's generally no footage in those. But everything else has been retouched. It was about 240 videos total that I had to go through and redo in some manner or another. So yeah, this is the project I've been working on. Why? If you're new, if you've been around for a while, you know what happened. If you're new, here's what happened. I'll give you a quick rundown. In November, December of 2024, I got 2 more copyright strikes from the BBC. Not claims, strikes. Most of the first time it happened, I would get them periodically. Usually, I just took the hit because I've never won a dispute against the BBC once, not once. And what upset me was by then we were on season 9. We had just started season 9 of Doctor Who. These strikes were from season 2, which were released originally sometime 2019-ish. So videos 5-6 years old were still being hit 5-6 years later from upload release date time. My brain is fried. We'll get to that in a bit. And I was just kind of fed up. Like I've said before in videos that people like to think that if you post a video and get it past copyright, that you're in the clear. You're not. There's always a sword of Damocles hanging over your head, always. And that is proof. And it was something like the 6th or 7th time I've almost lost the channel. Because you get 3 copyright strikes, you're gone. And I'm a small channel. I'm an even smaller channel now than I was then. And it's obvious I have no clout to dispute anything. I get 3 strikes, I'm out. I'm done. And after having it happen like half a dozen times, I was fed up. I was tired of it. So it's like, you know what? I'm going to pull all the content, all the reactions down, cut all the reactions out, and just upload them as reviews with the full reactions on Patreon. So that's what I did. And unfortunately, even though nothing changed on the Patreon side of things, all full reactions were still over there and would still have been released over there in totality. Like nothing changed on Patreon at all. In fact, it was like a better deal to be on Patreon because that's where all the full reactions, that's where any reactions would be in general. Even though nothing changed, my subs plummeted. My Patreon, I lost like 90% of my patrons in like 6 months, which I wasn't expecting. And as someone who used Patreon to help pay bills and buy groceries, it was not good. It was not good. So after some consideration, I decided to pull all the content again. And this time, I would redo the reactions from scratch, from the ground up. And you might ask, why would I do that? Well, it's because I'd been doing reaction videos for about 5-6 years at that point. And I learned little tools of the trade, tricks, things you could do, things I wasn't doing in 2019 because I was new. I didn't know. I thought, if we had a background behind us and the footage was this big and we were down here on the same screen, we'd be on the screen the whole time. Therefore, it's fair use. BBC says no. So I decided to use what I've learned to just redo everything from scratch. And that is what this is. This is the culmination of doing everything from scratch. There are pros and cons to this. We'll get to that in a bit if I can remember. My brain, it doesn't work as well as it used to. So I just finished all the way up to the end, which was Doctor Who 9-4. That's where we left off. And I uploaded it about a week or so as of this recording. And it says right there, end. And let me tell you, like starting back at 1-1, Doctor Who 1-1, and just having to like power through these. Yeah. So Doctor Who 1-1 Rose, Blonde Nightmare, was re-released on June 2nd, 2025. And then I have been releasing stuff consistently ever since. I had originally wanted to do 1 a week. But then I did the math. If I did 1 a week, it would take me almost 5 years to get everything back up. And yeah, so I just grinded. I grinded and got it done in a matter of 8 months or so, 8, 9 months. So I did 5 years worth of normal content for me in about 8 months. I'm a wee bit burnout right now. I'm kind of like, that's why I'm making this video too, just to update you. We'll get to the other side of things. Yeah. So June 2nd, 2025 was Doctor Who 1-1, and we, was here and just hit the ground running. All this stuff here. In hindsight, I think maybe I just should have left well enough alone and not done any of it and just prayed that I got no more copyright strikes on anything. Just knowing what I know, hindsight obviously is 2020. And losing the subs, losing the patrons, losing the momentum. I was averaging about 2,000 views per video, which isn't great, but it's still great for me. Now we're a couple hundred. And I'm not like over here having a moan. I'm not whining about it, but what can you do about it? I can't go back in time. If I could, I would fix a lot of stuff. So that's what the last year and a half. And I say year and a half, and you might be saying to yourself, but you said 8 months of uploads. Yes, I've been working on this stuff behind the scenes prior to that. I had the entire season 1 of Doctor Who uploaded for about 2 months, just letting it sit to see if the new method would work. Because I wasn't sure if I was going to redo everything, but I wanted to do season 1 just to check. If it got hit still, I would stayed with the review method and then full reactions on Patreon. And I haven't bounced back from re-releasing everything, so I'm wondering if I should have just stuck with that instead. I don't know. Like I said, hindsight. That has been the past and the present. What's the future going to look like? And that's where things get a little tricky. And I'm sure I'm doing myself no favors in people having faith in me because of all my health stuff. But it is something we do need to talk about in relation to the future. And I can still edit in my condition, but my condition is getting worse. I am having memory issues. I'm having brain fog. I am having constant vertigo. Like I feel like I am tipsy all the time, even now, just all the time. I'm okay-ish when I'm sitting down, but getting up and moving, it feels like I'm permanently tipsy. In addition to having the respiratory issues, it feels like someone's sitting on my chest. Everything feels inflamed. I have my back and neck issues that are almost 20 years old now. It won't heal. I'm Mr. Glass. In addition to, I'm having issues with my pelvic floor. That's a very new development in the last year. I can trace it back to having the hernia surgery and having improper follow-up care, which is really a recurring theme in my life. I am so envious of people who live in other countries with responsible doctors who actually give a crap about you. And since I wasn't told how to rehab this, I think it just domino effect everything else. I'm still dealing with the fallout from the antibiotics back last August. It just messed everything up as far as my gut balance. I have went on water fasts 3 times since, 48 hours each. Not consecutively, but like 3 different times to try and reset everything. I have seen a gastro specialist. I have seen an ENT. I have seen a urologist, neurologist, neurosurgeon, a chest doctor. I can't remember the pulmonary doctor. I can't think of the name. I was going to say podiatrist, which I have also seen because I have issues with my ankles and my feet. I'm getting old. Some of it's getting old, but some of it is just like, what the, like, everything is happening to me at once, and it's really weird. So I have all these things wrong with me concurrently at the same time. And it makes it very hard to focus, to concentrate, to have any motivation. I'm supposed to be doing, in addition to my normal stretches, I'm supposed to be doing pelvic floor exercises every single day. And there are some days where I am so tired that I just have no energy. Because it's like everything that is wrong with me is sapping on energy. And on top of it all, well, there's 2 things that, well, one thing we're really, really scared of. I'll touch on it now. We're worried that the mental issues are a sign of something else. You might know where I'm going with that. I don't want to say the D word or the A word out loud, but there is concern that I might be slowly slipping. And yeah. The other issue is in the last 6 months, I've started to develop really bad arthritis, like really bad arthritis in this hand, particularly in this knuckle, in the knuckle of my index finger, and it just spreads, it spreads like here and here. And when you work on a computer and you click and you edit and stuff, It's like I am not allowed to be creative. I'm not allowed to express myself or try and make a living for myself in the conditions that I have. And now it's taking two things from me that I need: my mind, my cognitive ability, and my ability to work. There is arthritis in this hand, but it's a lot more minor than this one. I have carpal tunnel in both wrists. That's been a thing for decades, going back to when I used to move freight. So that's why I say the future is a little uncertain and quite scary as far as certain things go. But as always, I'm not throwing in the towel. I just can't work at the pace I used to. That being said, I have worked in advance on some stuff. I have about 60 movies that I have watched either alone or me and Justin together in the vault that I've not worked on. We have so many TV shows that I've watched, again, alone or with Justin, sitting in the vault. We have not touched. So I've started working on some of that in advance to have something in the chamber ready to fire off. I do know there's no way I'll be able to do the schedule I did before. Like I was doing 2, sometimes 3 videos a week at my height, at the height of it, because I was told you need to grind and to get into the algorithm, and I did, and it didn't work. As far as Doctor Who goes, because I know a lot of you are here for Doctor Who, we are done through season 9, but we don't know what to do after that. I can't work at the pace that I did before. And I know they say, put your health first and all that stuff, but there's also the fact that, yeah, I'm falling apart, rapidly falling apart, but I also want to continue to create. I made a new channel, like a comedy skit type channel of stuff that goes on in my mind while I still have access to it. I take extensive notes as far as like skits and whatnot. I have a whole notepad just full of them. So if you want to go check that out, I'll throw it up. I haven't been able to release anything new on there in a minute just because of everything ramping up. Again, when I wake up, it's hard to walk. Like my feet and ankles ache. Sometimes it goes away. Sometimes it lasts me the rest of the day. Like today, I got all fancy for you. I had a head shave and did a beard touch up, and I haven't done this in like 2 months. It was very uncomfortable feeling, but I knew I wanted to record this video for you, so I was like, wanted to be presentable. And I'm going to sneeze. And normally I would do it once a week, but it just shows you how whipped I am. Like life is kicking my ass, and I don't know what to do. And I thought, a more laid back comedy based channel, something that I could record in like 5-10 minutes and then edit and have it up. Let's redirect our creative efforts that way a little bit. So we're still being creative, but I made videos in the past about how intensive editing reaction videos is. It's very, very intensive for someone like me who has a hard time focusing, hard time doing stuff now. The goal right now is to get through season 9 of Doctor Who. And then after that, I don't know. So barring an act of God, which please, I've had enough, I think. Take some of it away, please. I'm not going anywhere, but I also can't give you a time date on when new stuff is coming. Is it going to be once every 2 weeks, once a month, once every couple months? I don't know. I don't expect a long content drought, knock on desk. But I also didn't expect to get the brain fog and this and the post-long COVID stuff. And I've had so many tests and blood work and seen so many specialists. They can't put their finger on why I'm having all these things happen at once. And my theory is that it's a symptom of long COVID, and it's so new that basically those of us who are suffering from it are guinea pigs. And our current health stuff in America, along with everything else, isn't conducive to wanting to help the people at all. So I'll leave it at that. So I'm very much up the creek without a paddle. I don't know what's next. I mean, I do know what's next as far as like stuff I have in the chamber. But even then, I have to go back and rework what I've done because it's a first edit. I don't ever release the first edit. And before, reaction videos would take me about a week to work on. That's why I would do one a week. Normally, Doctor Who 1 a week. That was the old schedule. But now it's taken me much longer. Between the focus and the brain fog and now the arthritis symptoms acting up really bad. Like you don't really appreciate being able to turn a doorknob, squeeze some toothpaste, grab something off the counter, and then using the computer, clicking after a long time. Not only does the carpal tunnel start acting up, now this flares up really bad. And obviously I don't want to push myself, but obviously I don't want to abandon the channel any more than I feel like I was being forced to in the first place. It's one of the reasons I say I wish I kind of just left well enough alone and just kept pushing forward and hoped I didn't get a third strike, because, you know, if I could have seen the future and what I would become, even worse than I was then. I've also entertained the idea that I may have to go back to just reviews only and reactions on Patreon. That is a distinct possibility. But like I said, we're going to go through season 9 of Doctor Who as is, with reaction and reviews. But after that, I don't know. I don't know. I know some of you have been sticking by me for a while now, and I do appreciate it very much. Especially the patrons. I don't have like 5 or 6 patrons now. I don't say only isn't bad. Like I used to have like almost 50. But I have a core 3 or 4 that have stuck by me throughout the entire thing. And a couple of new ones. And that's people that bounce in and out, which makes sense. And I know times are tough right now, trust me. Like, full disclosure, since Patreon kind of crashed and everything has gone up in price, as you know, our utilities are almost twice as much as they used to be. Groceries are way more than they used to be. As most of you know, we're on food assistance now. Just because we can't make ends meet anymore. And I have no supplemental income. And this isn't like, oh, poor me, help me on Patreon. Nothing like that. It's just the reality of the way things are right now for everyone. So people who are still sticking around and supporting me and the channel and whatnot, I appreciate you even more because of what's going on. On the health front, it's not any better. It's getting worse. And obviously, I don't know what the future is going to bring. So just know that there might be a distinct possibility that I do have to go back to just review only, possibly starting with season 10 if we can get to it. I don't want to. I don't want to. But it's a lot faster to just do a full reaction and then edit the review part than it is. Well, I don't say a lot faster. It's a bit faster. Because my only other choice is to hire an editor. But I said we're on food assistance. I don't have any extra money to hire anyone for anything. So it's a rock and a hard place. But I wanted to be very, very forward about what's going on. And I at least wanted to get the actual content that was up back up for you in the state that it was. Unfortunately, everything's taken a hit, as said, but it is what it is. So if anything does ever happen to me, I can at least be secure that I have the bulk of what, I don't say my life's work, because, you know, it's a bit dramatic. You know, the passion project that I had, it's back up in its entirety. Some stuff has watermarks, some stuff doesn't, because some stuff is easier to get through copyright than others. So, just ouch. I have arthritis. Let me slam my hand on the desk. Oh, wow, 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 wow. It's the nature of YouTube as far as copyright and whatnot. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and go, because I just slammed my freaking fingers on the desk, and now that woke it up like a sleeping damn dragon. So, yeah, I'm going to go. I'm in a lot of pain. Thank you as always for watching, and thank you for everything, seriously. Stuff's coming, and do know that the stuff that is coming has been worked on in advance. So if the content seems more sparse, it's because I don't have a whole lot in the back catalog, but I have worked on stuff in advance, as well as it takes me longer to work in general now. And we have not recorded any new Doctor Who, any new anything, reaction-wise, in over a year. That's how bad things have gotten. There's been some new stuff here and there as far as on the channel, like Stranger Things Season 5 and Welcome to Derry. Those are 2 new things off the top of my head that were added in. But like 90% of it is the back catalog. But there was new stuff along the way because I wanted to try and work on stuff when it was current to see if I could get some new eyes onto the channel and whatnot. It didn't work. So it taught me to not try and hustle for the algorithm to try and break through when stuff was popular and being searched. So, yeah. All right, I gotta go before I'm gonna keep rambling about stuff. So I'll see you in the future, in a future video. I'm not sure what's gonna be next. Probably some movies coming up. Doctor Who 9/5 is coming up. I will post something on Patreon and on YouTube letting you know when the full reaction is ready. And I'll try and give you a timetable for the reaction and review. And that's what season 9 will be. That's kind of where things are right now. I'm going to go put ice on my hand, and I'll talk to you in some capacity soon.